welcome back to the RC store. My name's Arrma. Wow, look at what we got on the desk today, guys. Loads of parts and one of the best buggies that you can physically buy by Arrma. This is the Arrma Typhon TLR roller. First of all, I want to give a huge shout out to Appliance Electronics. Guys, if you haven't checked out their website or checked out their store, if you're in the area, be sure to go down and check them out. Absolutely amazing customer service and loads of parts on the shelf. I'll put a link in the description. Also, their website scrolling across the bottom here. Be sure to check them out. That's where I picked up the Typhon TLR from, along with these amazing parts. We'll go through them in a second. Last year, we ran a Typhon TLR on the channel. That Typhon TLR did not belong to myself, as you're probably aware. I did mention that it belonged to Kyle, who used to come out with myself until his life got extremely busy. And I've not actually seen him for a while, to be fair. I've always liked the Typhon TLR. So end of 2024, I thought to myself, right, I want a TLR. More for my personal collection. I'd like to just have one up here on the shelf. But then I thought, hold on, let's take it one step further. So guys, in this video, we're going to unbox a brand new Typhon TLR. I'll go through all the box art. For those of you that haven't seen the box art or a proper unboxing of a Typhon TLR, we'll go through all of that. And then we're going to beefcake this up. So here on the desk, guys, I've got loads of parts. And a lot of them are Vitavon. So I've picked up absolutely every single part available for the Typhon TLR from Vitavon, and these were brought from Appliance Electronics. Like I said, Appliance Electronics stock Vitavon parts here in the UK, and you can literally pick them off the shelf. So I've got every single optional upgrade available for the TLR by Vitavon. All that's going to go on here. I've also got a Hobbywing Max 6 that's going to go in here, which is a Max 6 combo. So this will be capable of running 8S. I have got some other bits here. I've got a e-tronic servo, which is a waterproof 30 kilo servo. I've got the heatsink. I've got the motor fan. I've got pinions. I'm basically ready to go with this build. Now, the car itself will be paired up to a radio link controller. I'm looking forward to this. The whole plan of this car, guys, now you're probably thinking a Max 6 is an overkill. Yes, it is an overkill. And that's me being completely honest. These cars normally, when you're running them on track, you don't really take them above 4S, which is the honest truth. And a lot of people that run them on 6S use them for 6S for bashing. Now, I wanted to do something a bit crazy. As you guys know, that I've been watching the channel, when we ran Kyle's TLR, it was so stable for speed runs. And I thought to myself, let's try and achieve some crazy speeds with the TLR, however, on grass. So the whole purpose of this build is I want an extremely fast buggy on grass. So that's the whole purpose of this build. Hence I've gone for the Max 6 combo. Hence I've gone for all the Vitavon parts. Make it a bit special, something different. Guys, without further ado, let's get into this. So here across the desk, guys, are all the parts that are going into the TLR build, minus the receiver and the transmitter. So here we've got the titanium diff cases for front and rear. They call them front and rear bulkheads. We've got the center transmission in titanium. We've got the front knuckles in titanium with anodized purple. We've got the rear hubs in titanium. You can see a heatsink there. We've got a couple of pinions. They will be getting upgraded to higher pinions, but this was just to get us going. We've got a few other bits and bobs here. We've got an e-tronic servo, which is a waterproof 30 kilo servo, which I thought would be more than adequate to do the job. We've got an easy run Max 6 brushless combo. And then we've got the car itself. So the box art on the car looks absolutely amazing. They give you an awesome picture of the TLR. Everyone loves this color scheme. Everyone loves this car, to be fair. It's absolutely amazing. It is an old classic. However, this is one for my personal collection. It does state here TLR tuned. It's a 1/8 four-wheel drive TLR tuned electric race buggy. Now this comes as a roller. You can buy it as an RTR as well. Down the side of the box, you've got another picture of the vehicle. Coming to the bottom here, it just shows you vehicle specifications. So those of you that are wanting to know the length and height, you can see it there. The width, and the rolling weight just there. Now, obviously, it says everything in yellow here is what it requires. Basically, this comes as a roller. Like I said, you can buy it as an RTR. Looking at the back of the box, this is where it gets interesting. Check out this chassis. This is a 7075 T6 aluminium laser etched chassis plate. Absolutely amazing. 7075 T6 bulkheads, as you can see, or should I say shock towers, front and rear. You do also have black anodized aluminium laser etched shock bodies. You've got a 7075 T6 aluminium laser etched steering rack. Oh, this is fantastic. The actual bits that come with the actual car itself are amazing. You got race style color scheme there. The decals look absolutely fantastic. Anodized aluminium adjustable front lower suspension hanger. Anodized aluminium adjustable rear lower suspension hanger. You've got an X-Hard servo saver spring. You've got dirt guards already on here. Adjustable RF lower suspension hanger. Galvanized turnbuckles. Low drag wheels and multi-terrain D-boots. Absolutely epic. Over here you can also see it's got a tunable race wing. Here it shows you just an overview of the car itself. Once again, some of the T6 7075 aluminium parts that come with the vehicle. And here, a bird's eye view of the chassis itself. On this side of the box, it shows you the actual size. Parts and box art out the way. Let's get this unboxed. This is my first ever unboxing on a TLR Typhon. So I'm as new to it as you guys are. Like I said, the one I ran did not belong to me, it belonged to Kyle. So yeah, this is going to be a nice little journey for myself and you guys. Right. Very, very striking. Have a look at that, guys. Absolutely fantastic. What I'm going to do is unbox this, spread it across the desk. I'll show you what it comes with, and then we'll start tearing this down and getting into it. So I've got it all unboxed, spread across the desk. Let's go through what actually comes in this pack here. Now, I'm new to this, like I said. I don't know what comes in the pack. This is brand new to me. It's the first time I'm unboxing a Typhon TLR. So you get some wing wicker builds here. Now these are different profiles. They're actually attached to the back of the wing on the car, and that it helps the downforce on the rear end, depending if you want more downforce on the rear wing or if you want less, or if you don't want any of them. So you can choose to put them on. Comes with all the nuts and bolts and screws for them. You do get some spares here. You also get some shims for your diffs if you want, if you need to shim your diffs. You do get some decals. So these are Arrma TLR Tuned decals, a cross wrench, and you get the manuals. So the manuals itself basically show you exactly what to do in terms of setting the car up. It shows you what you require, argument's sake there. And it also goes through bits and bobs on how to set the car up. For example, putting your diff fluids in, etc. That's all shown there as well. You do get a warranty information slip, and you get the technical pack. So this here shows you how to basically construct your shocks, your diffs, etc. It shows you all your suspension points, how to make all your adjustments, and it also shows you how to strip the car apart. So exploder diagram there, and all the part numbers as well. You do also get a leaflet here, which I believe is a Horizon Hobby leaflet. It shows you all the optional extras available, and around the back here, all the different tyres that you can get from Proline for this actual car as well, which is a nice neat touch for reference purposes. Fantastic. It didn't even bottom out. I didn't expect it to be fair. There's not much weight in it. However, it's sitting a lot higher than I remember the last one. Now, Kyle's TLR sat really squatted. It was down to the ground. And I think that's why it handled so well. Now, with some weight in this, this will squat down. I will adjust it and set it all up properly. However, I'm going to pull the camera in. Let's go through the car itself before we start digging into the build. This thing looks absolutely fantastic. Let's go through the car itself. We'll start from the front end and we'll work our way to the back. So starting right at the front, you've got a nice front bumper there, as you can see, stating Arrma, which protects the front bulkhead and the hinge pin cover just there. Oh, that's a nice touch. It says TLR Tuned on the hinge pin cover. You've got the shock tower, which is aluminium shock tower. You've got your nice suspension which is completely adjustable, and it actually comes with boot covers on the shock shaft. You do have a 7075 shock tower, complete pillar balls, as you can see, CVDs there as well. Coming across towards the tyres, you do have D-boot tyres on this. I believe they're called Exabyte. The wheels look absolutely fantastic. They look like a speed disc wheel. Remind me of the old OZ racing wheels. Absolutely amazing. Now these buggies are very bashable as well. They do come with composite upper and lower arms, and they seem to be quite strong, to be fair. Adjustable turnbuckles, as you can see just in there. Taking a look at the body, what a fantastic paint scheme. I know a lot of people absolutely love the actual colour scheme on this particular car. It's got a nice nose cone sitting there just in front of the front aluminium shock tower. You've also got some retaining tethers, as you're probably aware with Arrmas, on your body clips. Going over towards the back, you've got two there as well. You've got your rear aluminium shock tower, and you've got your nice plastic rear spoiler, which is quite flexible and forgiving, to be fair. Well, very flexible and forgiving. Looking at the rear of the vehicle, as you can see here on the rear shock tower, the amount of adjustment you've got is unreal. Absolutely fantastic. You've got a rear anti-roll bar sitting there. Once again, your suspension, your CVDs, your rear hinge pin cover, and this is where you can mount your rear wing wicker bills. They literally just bolt onto the four holes there, increasing or decreasing the rear drag of the spoiler. Flipping it upside down, check out this chassis. Doesn't that look absolutely fantastic? 7075 T6 aluminium, should I say aluminum chassis. Looks absolutely amazing. Nice chunky arms that are composite, as you can see, and that's the rear. Absolutely amazing. So taking the shell off, the actual car itself, this is the chassis itself. As a roller, this is how it comes. So I'll quickly go through the bits that it's got on it. You do get a spectral metal horn for your servo. Central diff. Now all this is getting removed because we're going to put all Vitavon parts on. You see your rear diff, you see your prop running through the center there, and then your front prop coming across here. You've got your front bulkhead. That's a hardened spring that you can see just there for your servo saver, the box was referring to. Comes with dirt guards already on the actual car, so this is on the rear end. Adjustable motor mount, as you can see just here, but we'll be changing this all to Vitavon. And here you have your plate just sitting here for your ESC. I don't know if the Max 6 is going to fit on there, or we're going to have to make some adjustments, but we'll conquer that when we get to it. You've got your battery tray that sits across here, and this is adjustable, so you can stack batteries here. So if you're running obviously 6S, you can run two 3S packs on top of each other, or if we're going to be running 8S, two 4S packs on top of each other. They are strapped in with some straps. You do have a receiver box just here, which is all concealed nicely, and then your aerial tube just coming up the side just there. Now we've got all that out of the way, it's time to get the show on the road. Grab yourself a cup of coffee. We're going to start building this. Straight into it in this video. So I'm going to start off with probably the front knuckles. I think I'm going to do the easy tasks first. So I'll probably get the wheels off. I'll do the front knuckles. I'll do the rear ones. And then after I've done them, I will then start tearing apart the diffs, front and rear. I'll take the diffs out. I'll put the new diff casings in. I will check the diff oils. I'll then move over to the center, which will be the last, where we stick in the new motor mount and the diff casing. Once this is in, obviously we check all the fluids and oils. We will then also mount the brand new Max 6 combo to this, and then we'll start putting all the electronics in. This is going to take me some time. I am going to take my time doing this. It probably won't be as long for you guys, but I am going to enjoy this build. So let's start off with taking the wheels off and getting it teared down. Now that the wheels are off, we're going to start by swapping the front knuckles. As you can see, the difference with the front knuckles. So these are the new ones in titanium that are going on, and the old ones are going to be coming off and they're getting replaced. This titanium actually matches the same color as the shock towers, etc., and the chassis itself. So in order to remove the knuckles, what you need to do is in the center hub just there, you've got an Allen key. You unwind the Allen key out, and what you'll find on this hex, there's actually a pin that you can probably just see there. That pin will slide out once that Allen key is loose. Slide that out. Once that's slid out, your next step of action would be to unwind this bolt. Once that's unwound, you can then unbolt your turnbuckle, which is just there, and then this whole assembly just pops off, and then you can rebuild it with the new assembly. The new assembly does come with bearings in there already, so let's get that done. So I've managed to complete the rear hubs along with the front knuckles. As you can see here, I'm going to come close in for you guys. They're the rear hubs, all assembled, and then going over to the front, you've got the knuckles all done. Look absolutely fantastic. Right, next step is going to be tearing the whole front end apart in the center, and then the rear, and then installing these. All right, let's get into this. So I'm going to start removing the diff housing. So I'm going to start off with the front. To remove the front, I'm going to start by taking these bolts off, removing all this, removing everything from the front. We'll have to release the shock tower, etc., and then flipping the car over underneath. We've got 4 bolts there. Take them out, and once that's out, we're going to pop the diff out the case and then insert the new ones. So transfer everything over. So I'm going to get into that now and see how I get on. So I've managed to get the front diff casing all done, as you can see. Now the only downside to this Vitavon front diff housing is the nose piece doesn't go back on. So that's the nose piece, which obviously in the previous diff case it bolts on there. On this one it doesn't bolt on. As you can see, the old one here, you've got the screw holders there. That one says Vitavon. So yes, it's a bit more blingy and it stands out, but I would have preferred the nose piece on. But nevertheless, it ain't a deal breaker. How fantastic does this look at the minute? It looks wicked. Now I'm going to crack on with the rear one. So after about 30 minutes of wrenching away, the new rear diff case is on. As you can see, looks absolutely fantastic. I think this has completed the car really, really nicely. As you can see, it looks epic. So next stage is to basically remove the center diff housing and the center diff, and then what I'm going to do is put the new housing in, and then I'll take the motor mount out and attach the new motor mount, which I have in my hand just here, that to the new motor, and that will slot in there somewhere nicely. That should look absolutely epic once that's done. And then it'll be a case of trying to get the Max 6 in there somehow. We've got to put a servo still in and some radio gear. So guys, I've done the center diff housing. As you can see here, the motor mount, etc. is all done. I'm literally going to undo these 2 bolts at the top. I'll pull this ring out and I'll connect that, the mount itself, to the motor, and I'll start installing the motor and pinning, etc. But how fantastic does this look? Now, I will say that was probably the easiest part. It literally 5 screws from underneath, and yeah, it just falls apart. Really, really easy. I didn't struggle with the front housing or the rear housing, to be fair. They were straightforward. I was quite surprised. I thought I was going to struggle during them, but no, they were really, really straightforward. No issues with them. What I did have issues with, though, was, believe it or not, is here in the center of your drive shaft, there's a grub screw that you take out just to release a pin, so you can take these ends off here, and that was thread locked so much that it just wouldn't move. I had to apply heat, and yeah, it was the only way it was coming off, and I applied heat, and even then it was a bit stiff, but I got it off. For some reason, whoever built this in the factory must have used loads of Loctite, or should I say stud lock. Anyway, that's all done. Next step is I'm going to get the motor mounted in, and then we'll go over and get the Max 6 ESC in there, and we need to get the servo mounted up as well. And then once that's done, I will open the receiver box, put a receiver in, and then we're pretty good to go. Then it's all about tuning, and let's see what this baby can do. I'm hoping this is going to pull at least 70 miles an hour on grass. So that's the idea behind this build. I want this to hit 70 miles an hour at least on grass, and that's the target. You think we'll do it? I don't know, but that's the target. We might even exceed it. So all the Vitavon parts are now on the vehicle. The next step I'm going to do is get the Hobbywing's brushless combo system out, and we're going to basically attach the motor onto the motor mount. So here I've got the Max 6 set up here, as you can see. So running a Max 6 ESC, and we've got the EasyRun 4985 brushless motor to go in. So get this unpacked. So this motor is a 1650 kV motor. I was going to go for a lower kV first. Thought if I really want to hit over 70 miles an hour on grass, I need the higher kV. So that's what I've gone for. We're going to see how it goes. But let's get this unpacked. Alright, so I've got the motor here, and I believe it didn't come with no screws. So I'm going to have to put some screws on here. I'll get the motor mount out. I'll release that. We'll line it all up, and then we'll get a spare gear on here as well. I'm not sure what spare gear I'm going to go for, but it's all going to be trial and error. I'll probably go for something like a 23 tooth to begin with, and then we might up it. Bear in mind, this car will be an A-test rig. Whether I run it on A-test or not, I don't know, but I'm going with the flow. So let's get this all mounted. First thing first, I'm going to remove these two motor mounts, and that should allow the slider to come out. Right, so we've got the slider out, and now that will allow us to attach the motor, like so. Right, so I've just done a bit of a test fit just to see if this fits. It does. I do have to put some washers just behind the mount itself, just because my bolts are slightly too long, literally by 2 mil. So I've had to just pack it with some washers behind. However, the motor does not go through with the motor mount on itself. So what I'm going to have to do is put the slider in, disconnect this front cover, and then slot the motor from behind, and then bolt it all together from the front. And I will Loctite it at the same time. I'm going to get that done now. So I've got the motor all mounted up. Bit of a faff because of the size of the can. However, it's all fitted in. I have put the slider bolts back on at the top. They're not bolted in all the way, so the motor's still free to move. I'm going to get a pinion now. Let me see what I've got. I'm going to try and use a proper D-shaped pinion. Let me see what I've got. So I have got a 23 tooth pinion just there. It's a proper D-shaped pinion. It's an Arrma pinion, so it's genuine Arrma part. I'm going to put this on, and we're going to see how it goes with a 23 tooth, and then if we need to gear it up, we'll gear it up. So that's another major component out the way. The mesh is all set up. The motor is permanently mounted. That's all good. Nice and solid in there. Next step, putting the ESC in. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to have enough cable by the looks of things. This looks extremely tight. However, I don't know how tall the ESC is going to stand. So I don't know what's going to happen, but let's give it a whirl. If not, we'll either have to fabricate some sort of bracket or a mount to raise the ESC, or we'll just have to rewire it. Let's give it a go, and let's see where we stand. Right, so the ESC, will the cables reach? I doubt it very much. No, these cables ain't going to reach whatsoever. What I'm going to have to do is figure out somehow how to extend these cables to get them to sit on the ESC nice and flush. They only need a couple of inches, but a couple of inches is still a lot. So I need to figure that out. Once I've figured that out, I'll get this sorted. And then also I need to mount the ESC as well. In terms of mounting position, it seems to fit in there well. There was a little bit that sticks up, just a component here on the tray that sticks up. I did remove that out of the way when I was putting this center mounting because it was getting in the way. Literally, I took this ESC mount plate off. Once I took that off, there's a bolt underneath, and I just removed it. So I just got to move these bolts out so the ESC can sit in there flush. It does fit in this gap up to that protrusion there. It's just the cables on this, so I'm gonna have to think of something on that. Right, it looks like it doesn't fit, to be fair. If you have a look just here, yes, it fits within that line there and the servo bracket, so I've got some play there, which is fine. But over on this side, if you have a look, it's so close to that prop. I wouldn't want to risk running it like that, to be fair. So the alternative option is, if I lift this out, is to put it this way. However, this way, it does not fit. Now, the only way it will fit is if I make some sort of bracket, or maybe 3D printer bracket, to sit underneath to hold the ESC up. And if the ESC is held up in that angle, that's going to sort out the cable issue and the mounting issue at the same time. So I'm going to see if I can fabricate something out of 3D printing or some sort of bracket. So whilst I'm thinking about some sort of design for a bracket that I need to construct on CAD for the ESC, so the ESC sits higher up, etc., there's loads of other things that I need to be doing. So what I'm going to do is concentrate on finishing everything else, and then I'll jump back onto the ESC last. It's just because that takes more time. It's time demanding to think of something, design it, and then get it in there. So in the meanwhile, what I can do is get this e-tronic servo in. So I'm going to pop this in. Should be straightforward. Now this is a 30 kilo waterproof servo. To be fair, these have been pretty decent. I've used them in the past and they have been decent, so that should do me fine. It does come with loads of horns, etc. I'm not using any of them. I have got myself a Arrma horn. The actual car itself does come with a metal Spectrum horn, just the tooth size is different. So this is the one I'm going to need. So get this unpacked, bang that on there, pop that in there. And then I've also got some cooling to do. So I've got a cooling can just here. So that needs to go on, which is a heat sink, and that'll go on the motor. I'll get that on. And what else have I got? I've got a fan, etc. So I'll get all them bits done. I'm going to chew through this because I really want to get this out and get it running. So coming to the home stretch now, I'm almost there. So as you guys can see, I've got my receiver in there, which does have a built-in gyro. That's all in. I have got the servo attached. That's all in. And I have put this cooling plate on. However, that was the only angle I could fit it. If I fitted it over the top, the way it normally probably go, I was then having issues with the shell going on. So the canopy wouldn't fit over the top. The only way I could put it was sideways. Either way, it's a heatsink. It's going to do its job. Now, in terms of cooling with a fan, I have got one of these super duper rocket fans. I would have preferred a bigger one. However, I couldn't fit a bigger one on here because of the location that this is in now. And if I did originally use this smaller one, so in my theory, a fan is better than no fan. And these are probably better than your standard larger fans. These are one of those super duper high RPM fans. Now, I did originally have it at the top just there, but the canopy won't go. So I've relocated it to the bottom bolt hole, which is connected there now. It is on solid, it ain't going anywhere. And the canopy fits. So I'm going to leave it like that for now and see how we get on. The wiring's all done very neatly, all tucked in underneath, as you can see. And the only thing left now is the ESC. So I'm going to jump on the 3D printer and see what I can come up with. Guys, so I had a brainwave. I walked away from the car for a little while. Just simple reason being, because I've been on it for a while, your brain just goes fuzzy. I literally disappeared for a while. I've come back to it and I actually realised I didn't need to 3D print a bracket for the ESC. What I did was loosen the servo bracket, which gave me some play. The ESC then fitted straight in. I tightened everything back up and perfect. Simple as. I didn't have to extend no cables. The cables reached as well. I have cut the body shell a little bit. You can't really tell, but just here in the corner, just to make some room for the fan just there. But yeah, absolutely fantastic. The way this has come out, yeah, perfect. It couldn't have gone any better. Now, the only two jobs I've got left to do on this is literally stick the on and off button to where I want. I haven't chosen the location yet. And put some connectors on the ESC. And we're ready to rip. Can't wait to take this out and see what it pulls. I'm going to pull the shell off just to show you guys underneath and how it's all finished. And to be fair, It's come out mega neat, as you can see. Can't complain whatsoever. Absolutely fantastic. Oh guys, I'm so gassed I managed to get the Max 6 combo in the actual car. I know already a lot of people have put the Max 6 combo in this particular car. However, when you don't put the Vitavon center motor mount in, or the diff case, it's a lot easier. You have a lot more space. It just slots in, as in the ESC just slots in. But once you have the actual center diff mount and the motor mount, it takes up a lot of space, and you lose that extra space you require to put a Max 6 in. So that's what I was struggling with mainly on this, to be fair. But I'm so glad it fitted along with all the Vitavon parts. Absolutely stoked. Looking forward to taking this out now. In the next video, be sure to check it out. I'm going to take this for its first shakedown, and let's see what sort of figures it can pull straight off the bat without messing around with it. Like I said, the aim is 70 miles an hour on grass. It's a bit of an ask, but I'm going for it, and let's see what we can achieve. Guys, if you want to pick one of these up, or if you want to pick up any Vitavon parts, be sure to check out Appliance Electronics. Huge shout out to them. They've been absolutely fantastic along this journey. I'll put a link in the description. Also, their website scrolling across the bottom here, which is applianceelectronics.co.uk. Guys, if you want builds, check them out. They got parts for absolutely everything. And like I said, they hold a full inventory of Vitavon parts as well. Guys, if you've enjoyed this content, please feel free to like, share and subscribe. Don't forget to smash that notification button, and we'll see you when we're running this beast, trying to hit 70 miles an hour in the next one. Thank you for watching.